Welcome to Rise and Shine with Alissa. I am your hostess, Alissa Bakar, the consultress, here bringing you some of the best and most enjoyable conversations from the front lines of entrepreneurship, business, and innovation. We live in the age of disruption, ladies and gents, where nothing is normal, everything is new. And by the way, that's a great thing because we get to create what comes next. I am so jazzed and happy to bring to you live with me here today, Mr. John Rod. Welcome to Rise and Shine. How are you?
Cheers, Alyssa. Thanks for the invite. Good to see you.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit before we got on here about, you and your generational iterations of business. You've been in business since the 80s until today, like a radio station, seeing all of the different evolutions and the reformatting of technology. So I'm really jazzed to have you here today to talk about, the Google ability of yourself and how does it actually work? Does anybody really know? And if anybody knows in this world, I think it's you. So I'm so jazzed to have you here, John. Tell me a little bit about what you're up to in this world.
Yeah, I own a digital marketing agency here in Freehold, New Jersey with my son, John. He's the SEO expert side of our digital marketing agency, and I'm the marketing side. So I always like to tell our clients that he will get you to the website, and then the marketing will keep you on the website. So there's really two targets we always do, and that's Google's CONFUSEopoly of their algorithm is our focus. And also once the customer gets to the website, what do they really want to see? What do you want them to do? And that's basically what we've been doing. And like you mentioned, it's been quite the ride from the 80s all the way to today, and seeing all the iterations of technology and being there every step of the way, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and you have like this depth of knowledge. It's not just like, hi, I do social media marketing. It's like, you've seen it, how it started, how it grew. You watched, I call it the golden ratio shape, that Nautilus shell where it starts really tight in the circle and it
Yeah.
just keeps growing and getting bigger as it's informed. Like you embody all of that knowledge and all of that experience as business has been developing and evolving to be more and more accessible online. The fact that we're here today doing this hybrid type of meeting and broadcasting our conversation to the world at large, we wouldn't have been able to do this even 5, 10 years ago. This would have
Yeah,
evolved a whole lot more.
podcasts are what are really what is taking over. And I listened to podcasts 3 years ago. I never listened to podcasts. So just as a way of life, people are getting the information that they want, where they want, and when they want it. The old days of cable TV and news channels and even news media. I don't know anybody has any news apps on their phones anymore. It's all gone by the wayside. So,
Mhm.
I would have to say that every company and every person is at a different place in their searchability. So you have some street cred because I had the luxury of Googling you, consultress, and you came up, and you were the golden rule for us. You weren't just the top of the search, you were all of page one, which is
Woo!
really means that you're doing the right thing. And that's what we try to teach our clients, that you have to put out enough information and be on enough channels to be able to get your content out there to be all of page one when somebody's looking for you.
And I have to tell you, I love what you said about doing the right thing because that has multiple meaning to me. So my internet presence is simply born of me living my life and putting together conversations, content based on what I'm experiencing. And I have to be honest, I'm gonna just like open the kimono here. I don't know how to use hashtags. I really am not sure exactly what backlinks and SEO even are, but I know that I'm doing the right thing in serving my clients and serving my communities by bringing these conversations and being who I am online and just writing about what matters to me. So when you say you're doing the right thing, that hits me right in the family feels, because I feel that I live the legacy that my dad traveled to this country to produce, and that is, the American dream to be in business and to live life full out. and to be profitable just doing it, you know? And so doing the right thing to me, I'm like, thank you for affirming that Google thinks I'm doing the right thing.
Well, it all, the good news is you're putting a lot of video content out. And the
Mm,
little hidden secret that nobody knows is because Google is owned by YouTube and Google owns YouTube, all the words that you're saying during all your video content, including who you are, what you do, that's all being written for a closed caption on the back of the video. So all of that is search words and key terms that you're saying over and over and over again, and that's why it's affecting your rank. And video is so popular, Google would rather have a video than a photograph.
huh. Well, and
Question,
that's really
question and
interesting.
answer. Question and answer is always what Google will trend towards. Even a
Oh,
web page, a Q&A web page, 10 most popular questions for any service, whether you're selling payroll or marketing or consulting, whatever it is, that
mhm.
Q&A, that question and answer, that back and forth is what Google wants
Eh,
first.
and so here's the interesting thing. I mean, if you've been kind of tracking my journey here, I was in a family business, worked in financial services, moved out onto my own and started, training people, consulting, empowering people to be their best selves. And I wound up squarely being a real estate investor. And then, these are all of the realms that I kind of swim and play in. And if you track that stuff, what I talk about in all of these different endeavors is the magnitude of the importance of relationships and building solid relationships with people, because that's the engine that makes all business possible. And when I talk about, real estate investing and business community building, these are not necessarily Googleable things. It's not information that people can have access to. It's really about curating and creating places where people connect. And so I'd love to know, because you talk a lot about the Google confuseopoly and misinformation and disinformation and kind of like the world that all of this truth is swimming in, that is, it's hard to find. So, can you give us a little insight as far as, the next level of being present online and being able to navigate some of this misinformation, disinformation, confusing nature of what's out there on the internet?
Right. Well, the main focus for all companies is to be found on Google search. What is your sole purpose in life? I want to be found when somebody is Googling my service. There's really only two ways that you could do that. Either you have to pay for it or you have to earn it. Now, when I say pay for it, I'm meaning like Google AdWords will get you there at the top, but it's also temporary. When you shut off your campaign, that Google juice will go away eventually.
Hmm.
What we like to do is what's called organic search, which is something that's earned through blogging, through posting, through content. And when we create any website, it always has certain ingredients in it that will make it SEO friendly for the consumer. So the day one, when we launch it, it already has search engine optimization built into each of the individual pages,
Hmm.
which makes it compliant with Google. They want to see certain things, and we know all those check boxes. Then after your website is launched and it's up and running, people don't understand that that's really where the fun begins. That's where the games begin. And now you're responsible for your own web traffic. How are you going to get people to your website? What content are you going to put out there that's going to educate them, tease them, invite them, show them, and let them discover your unique content? So when I say unique, um, can't be Chat GPT. If you do use Chat GPT, you still have to massage it and massage it and massage it. But yeah, you have to have unique content, unique videos, unique photographs, all that good stuff. Content is still king.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I heard you say that video is important, and also designing what you're all about has a lot to do with who you actually are. what is your business all about, or who are you and why is it that you're in business, like that kind of golden rule that we all learned when we were little is like always doing the right thing, right? How do you tease that out for people? How do you engage and help people understand what their keywords even are? Because, I have no idea really what my keywords are other than I keep saying what I say, and tracking what I'm experiencing. But how do you kind of engineer
Google
that to help people do that on purpose?
Google has some tools that we use on the back end. They also have tools that you can use as a consumer for free. One of the tools that you can use is Google Trends,
Mm.
and Google Trends is a great tool for even our company. When I Google website development company versus SEO company versus social media company versus marketing company, Google Trends will let me align all of those different variables, go back a year in search in New Jersey, and it will tell me what the most popular search terms are. So I know what pages to build from. So what I think may be popular and what people may be searching isn't always reality. So
Ah.
Google Trends allows us to see what people are actually searching for. It also can differentiate between what they're searching in news versus what they're searching in video versus what they're searching just in web searches. So that it's a very detailed tool that we use all the time to help us make accounting firms and home builders and whatever business, roofing companies, to get their specific keywords down prior to writing any copy.
And this is like an intake process for you. So what I'm hearing is it's not just about the doing and the executing of a strategy. Someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I want to do this." It's actually actively engaging with the client to determine what those things are. And how often do you have to revisit this?
Well, first of all, we do it based business owners come at you and they sometimes we have to pause them and say, wait a minute, what do you make the most money at? And where is the most of your money generated from, and what are people calling that service? Because we have to reverse engineer. We have to make their top services appear at the top. They're especially with law firms where they have 6 different lawyers doing 6 different things. So now you have to prioritize what their pillars are so that you could properly index them in each of those pages. So um, that's basically telling you that, yeah, there's a discovery process that we have to go through, including competitive research. Who is coming up first for roofing? Who is coming up first for consultation in XYZ field? And what are they doing to earn that? And then we like to take a look at the competition and reverse engineer some of that back into what we're doing.
Mm.
I think that makes us a little bit unique compared to some of the other marketing firms. We do a deep dive into the competition.
And to that point, I think that consultative approach, and like we started out with, like you're this depth and like abyss style ocean depth of knowledge when it comes to being found and engaging with marketing and advertising online as a business that's adding value to the world. But what you're saying is, you're adding pieces together to make a whole picture that isn't necessarily what someone says that they want when they want to market themselves. Now I'm listening, I'm taking a ton of freaking notes right now because like you're dropping gold here. And when you say, doing a competitive analysis, what does that entail? I as a lay person, when it comes to your discipline, I am like, I've got stars in my eyes right now because I'm hearing firsthand, like behind the scenes, what it takes to be marketed online. Like everybody's done what they've done. They're throwing their handful of spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. But your business sounds like it is done intentionally by design, collaboratively with the client to figure out how to get their biggest bang for their buck. Because we both have a mutual friend who said, I've hired marketing companies and I have no idea what the return on my investment is because I don't even know if I'm seeing any results or leads. Do you find that question often in
Yeah,
your business?
I
How do I quantify your actions or
I
our strategy?
my favorite quote that business owners love to say to me is, "We don't get any business from our website." And I'm laughing and I'm laughing because I can see their analytics. I can see how many people are going to their website. I can see what pages they're going to, how long they're staying on each page. And they're not translating the fact that somebody may be picking up the phone or filling out a form fill. We have one customer, Kipcon Engineering, they get multiple form fills per day. So it's just a constant, somebody has to be on the other end to receive those form fills. We have a law firm, a local law firm that gets so many form fills and there's no backup follow up. So they're trying to track the return on investment, but they're not good salespeople. They're great law firm. They're a great law firm, but they're not
Mhm.
great at the follow up or the close. So there's different variables. You have to be able to receive the lead on the other side, follow up, and then close the lead for it to be. It has to be as important for the employees as it does for the owner.
Yeah, and
A lot of
you're
companies
seeing.
don't set it up that way. They're not set up like that.
Yeah, and I love that you're looking at like the whole schematic of the business, who's in it, what they're selling, how it's perceived competitively, and what are the main services that, kind of bring in the lead gen and that bring in the top line revenue. So you're not just a marketing company. You feel very much like a strategic partner and an ally in developing business moving forward. I mean, well, how is I know you've been in business for a long time. What's your longest standing customer relationship? How long have you worked with them?
I would say one of my clients I obtained in 1993, 94. So it's
Wow.
30 years I've been dealing with this company.
I'm sorry I stole your wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
years.
there's some long-standing business relationships and we've grown together. Listen, when you own a marketing company and in the 90s you're doing brochures and you're doing displays and you're doing graphics and branding, when the web world comes around in 2002, 2003, it started to get hot. And I saw the shift and the change. The first thing I said to my brother was, "Hey, we need a website and I want to be in charge of it. Because after I go through the process, we'll be able to sell websites as part of our marketing repertoire." And he's like, "Go for it, dude, go for it." And I was just obsessed with Google. I couldn't figure out why or why not people were coming up first. And there's a lot of tools out there that are available for nerds like me who want to understand it.
And this is why we're friends.
Well, I
Obsessed.
enjoy it. I enjoy it. I enjoy working with different types of companies. We used to be heavy into construction and home building. And over the past 12 years, we've been diversifying into other avenues. And we do a lot of accounting firms and a lot of law firms and a lot of local business. And Google search is very different because if you have a smaller business with a less of a budget, you could still break through. You could still break out because local search is about where you're located in Pittsburgh or where I'm located in Freehold. So now you're not competing against the universe or America or New Jersey. You're in your town and your county, and it can pull from, sometimes it pulls from 50, 100 miles from me. We're doing work in Missouri. People
Wow.
Googled some stuff and we strategically tag things. They're looking at photographs that are properly tagged and they're seeing us clicking and coming to us. So there's all kinds of different strategies that we could do to expand our reach.
Yeah. And I think what I want to just tease out right there is like you're obsessed with staying relevant, agile, and at the forefront of your game. Like this podcast here is all about being relevant in today's age of disruption. And it feels like your discipline and your focus in your business, it matches precisely what this media outlet is all about right now. And that is staying ahead of what is innovating, what is coming forward right now, and how do we leverage it? How do we engage it? It's like being a lifelong learner and always wanting to, figure out where the value is coming from. I mean, I get obsessed about stuff and then I tunnel in, and it's the best form of education that I've ever had is that, when you find something you're interested in, it's kind of counterintuitive to what we've been taught, and like the system of schooling is like, here's what you need to know, memorize it, barf it back out at me, and then discard it once I give you your letter grade. This is actually real life learning when you love what you do and you can count and you can just get obsessed about it and learn forward. Like for me, getting in there and learning about how are people thinking about their legacy? How are people thinking about their act two or their passive income business once they quote unquote retire? And when do you start thinking about that? I started thinking about it before, well before retirement age, because I want to be the captain of that ship. So I designed it. And what you're doing in terms of marketing feels exactly the same. I'm like, high five. We are like birds of a feather.
Yeah, you go through different iterations, like I said before, and the clients that we're seeking are, or the clients that have found us, there are commonalities. We're looking for happy people who are
Yeah.
having fun, who want to be there, who are long-term thinkers. We're always looking for people who are looking 5, 10 years down the road, because a lot of businesses don't realize how much value their website adds to their business value when it's functioning and working. When you're selling a business for 5 million, but your website's bringing in a 50% majority of that lead generation, the website is a very large part of the valuation. And a lot of business owners understand that. We had one client that I think they had hired us in maybe 2009, 2010. We started working for them. They were a $2 or $3 million company, built up to a 10, $15 million conglomerate. Boom. The owner's now sitting on a beach somewhere in Florida. The American dream happened. He built it up and sold it. And I don't think of it as a lost client. I think of it as a complete success story.
Yeah, amen. I mean, if you listen to the broadcast right before this one, I had a financial advisor who is very involved in exit planning strategies and the exit planning exchange about how to plan and build your business for a successful exit. When you're an entrepreneur and your identity is involved in that business, read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. The goal here is to create a business that works outside of you and that is saleable so that you can still enjoy the rewards from it without necessarily being employed in it unless you choose to. Right. So like
Right. People, retirement has taken on a whole new meaning, because people still don't want to sit around and watch TV all day. They still want to feel productive and feel needed and feel wanted. So what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do to have fun? What are you going to do to have purpose and meaning? And that's personal, it's business, it's relationships, it's people. And we're all gearing towards that. But we want to have fun while we're on the way there.
yeah, we do. I mean, that isn't at the point, right? If you're not having fun, you need to do something different, right? I say I put the fun in funding when I'm talking about finance because it's, a traditionally very stodgy environment, especially when we're talking about creative deal stacking and creating real estate investment strategies with all of the different funding pieces. If you're not having fun with the funding, you're doing it wrong. Or if you're not having fun with what your purpose in life is, what you're doing, if you're just gutting it out, like we are in this day and age where that is a dying structure. Starting at a company, gutting it out until you're too old to care, and then sitting as a vegetable for the rest of your life, wondering where the time went and ticking off the seconds till you're underground. I don't think that's anybody's goal anymore. I don't think it really ever
Uh,
was, but
Something, it shouldn't be. And I think that, I feel like the company is in a great place. I feel like I'm in a great place. I feel like my son is in a great place, and we're building this thing together. And I would say over the past 3 years since COVID, He's now been telling me what to do. Now I'm talking to clients. I'm thinking, let me, and I'll say to them, listen, let me run it by my son and get his input. And he'll stop what he's doing. He's like, you got to come over here and look at this. We we shouldn't do this way. Let's do it this way. And I'm like, all right, let me call the client. I think they're going to love this, blah, 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 blah. So our collaborations together, that's a huge reward for me. That is a huge connector for me.
And can you just, I just want to hear this 30 years in business, 30 plus years in business. You talked about before, and when we were in pre-production, about the different iterations of your family business and how you're on Act 3. Can you just bring us through that story?
Sure. I started working for my dad in the early 80s, and that's where I kind of got my master's degree in arts and graphics and brochures and signage and all the marketing stuff that you were doing back then, and all the home builders we were involved with and all the clients that we worked with. And when he passed away in 1990, I started a new company with my brothers. And for 20 years, we went from 3 people to 35 people, and we did work in 40 of the 50 states. And when the real estate market crashed in 2008, we decided to be brothers and not business partners. So my son and I, we took the company in a digital direction. And love my family, love my brothers. Friday's family night. Everybody comes over. We hang out with my grandson. So there's no ill feelings, but everybody eventually needed to grow up and do their own thing. And my brother has a very successful business out in Colorado. My brother Dave lives in Tennessee, and I'm here in Jersey. And and now Act 3. I'm working with my son, and like over the years, I built my talent stack. Now he's building his talent stack. He works QuickBooks. He understands how to when and how to pay the taxes. He's writing contracts. He's doing social media. He's developing websites. He's working on campaigns. So he's building this talent stack so that he can either own this company if he chooses, or his value when he leaves and goes and starts his own is way up there because he's done it all. He's been there and done that. So that's, to me, is kind of what my dad did for me, was build my talent stack. And now I feel like I'm kind of doing that for him. It's kind of cool.
It is very, very cool. I love that, your business is who you are. It's part of your identity. It's part of what you've been and where you're going. I feel blessed to have you here. And I know that everybody watching this is like furiously taking notes, just like I was. Where can people find you if they want to learn more or work with you? Where's the best place for them to go and do that?
They can Google JohnRodandCo.com, or they can just Google John Rod Marketing. I'm sure it'll pop up. And they can find me and contact me, and I'd love to help them out, talk to them. And if they have a company and they need a present, we could do that too. So education is part of what we're doing. Also mentoring. I've been taking people, one person per year, and I've been mentoring them, so that they have a quicker understanding of how the world works and a leg up and getting there faster. So that's also part of what we're doing.
Oh, I mean, we're going to have to do this again because we just don't have enough time to fit it all in here. Thanks a million for coming to talk with me today. This is definitely not the first time, and it will not be the last. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming and speaking with us here on Rise and Shine. Go find JohnRodandCo. He is a wealth of knowledge, along with his depth and breadth of business experience and the 3 iterations of his family that he's been firsthand witness to. Join us here every single Monday. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe, add a comment. Let us know what you love to hear about this conversation. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss another episode. We go live every single Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So until next time, friends, rise, shine, and be the best self you can be. Cheers.
Thanks, Alissa.